All right, you guys, a little behind the scenes. That's Mark Taylor back there, my camera guy. Hey, Mark, how's it going back there?
It's going great.
We're just waiting for Rich to come back, and we're going to go have a little bit of fun. So, double A.
MCO.
I like it. So yeah, man, I've never ridden in this thing. This is really, really cool.
You need to drive it because you sit so far back from the wheel.
Oh, you're right.
You're basically in the bulkhead.
You're right.
Yeah,
you've got at least about 10 inches between your stomach and the wheel.
You should drive this home when we're done.
Now, what's interesting about this is I've found that bench seat buses, so like, I remember my 60 panel, I felt like I had the steering wheel right against my stomach, you know? But then you get a walkthrough, and the walkthrough is totally different, you know? In the walkthrough, I have a little bit more room, but this is like a crazy amount of room. Dude, it's quiet. What's in it? Is it a 1600 or
3 people? They ride better when there's more weight in them.
No, but I mean, it's quiet though. What's the engine? What do you have?
Just a 1600, the George Schmidt though. Yeah.
Ah, Mr. Schmidt.
Nothing special other than a Georgie.
Yeah, no, dude, it's super cool. So, all right, I don't know why I always thought it was a 59. Obviously, it's a 61. But, dude, tell me a little bit about the inside right now as we're driving. Obviously, you've got your. Is that a real cigarette lighter or is it USB?
Well, it's a cigarette lighter, but I got my little USB chinga here, so I can go in there.
Okay.
But, you know, modern days, you probably USB in. This one's cool. It tells you how many volts you got going.
That's pretty
right. You know, you use Bluetooth anymore in vintage cars for radio.
Or speedometer.
Or speedometer.
Yeah. So I just had a crazy flashback to, here's a good story. So Rich used to have a 67 green Westie, and when you made that turn, I had a flashback. You know. Yeah.
I'm trying to get over that.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah, there's no seatbelts in this car either.
Right. So no
and this seat freaking wags when you drive. Yeah, it's a little freaky.
I remember you telling me that you went around to turn and your driver's door hadn't latched and it opened up and you slid right off the seat.
Yeah, I made a right turn off of the main street coming onto my street, and I just hit the ground in that position. Dunk! And watched my car go right into somebody out to a Ranchero, 65 Ranchero.
Shit, dude, seriously?
Yeah. That car had already been hit so hard it fell on its side. It had a different wheelbase from left to right. That car was bar. But it was an original paint, you know, bus, pop top. It was cool.
Yeah, that bus was very, very cool.
Then it got stolen, and
got stolen.
That was my dad's car, basically. So he and I would work on it together, and that kind of put an end to, you know, father-son workings.
Right.
That way.
Bummer.
Yeah. So I never saw hide nor hair of that.
Huh.
And there wasn't a panel on that bus that didn't have a ding or a dent.
Right.
But original paint, original interior. It was badass.
Yeah, dude, it was badass. In fact, I remember we had some fun times in that bus. That was pretty fun. That was definitely a fun bus.
Yes.
Forget about this little area.
We saw you in NorCal. That went to Red Barn a few times.
Yep.
That would have been early 2000s because Isla was still going to car shows with me at that point in time.
She finally say no more?
Well, yeah, I married her, so she stopped going to places, right?
Is that all it takes?
Well, we stopped dating. No, we still go out.
Nice, dude, nice.
I don't think there's much here.
The shade, you know, if we can find shade somewhere. somewhere where it's going to be a little
We
quiet.
can go
you
up
know?
here a little ways. Dude, it's like we're looking for some place to go make out. Like when you're in high school, right? You had to go find this place. It used to be like the balcony at the movie theater, I suppose.
Yeah. I was trying to explain to my kids the other day about going to the movies, and you'd get dropped off, let's say, at 11 in the morning, and you'd tell your parents not to pick you up until about 6 at night. And my kids were like, how long were the movies? And I'm like, no,
How
dude,
long were the
you
movies?
snuck into the other movies, you know?
What movies?
Yeah, and that too, right?
You better figure out what you're going to tell mom and dad. Where's
like,
Cliff's Notes?
Yeah, why do you smell funny? You know? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. This is pretty cool, dude. I don't think I've ever been up here before.
If this doesn't work, maybe we'll go to the Muckenthaler.
Okay, whatever.
It's right there in Euclid and Chapman.
Copy that. No, I'm sure we could find a little. This is pretty.
Since I stopped being a dog watcher.
Look at that. We can go down the alley or what?
I don't care. Going down the alley looking for a fight.
Yeah. Clear on the right.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, this is pretty nice.
This property under 24-hour video surveillance.
Oh, we don't have to go up with it. We're just going here.
Well, they can watch us.
Yeah. In the shade?
No shade here, is there?
No, right now we just parked.
Oh, well then I'll turn the other way so the doors come out, yeah?
Sounds good.
You want to escape this?
Yeah. Wow.
I was just
I
thinking
wonder how fun that would be, huh?
So Shasta, there's a mountain like that, right?
Right.
And there's a little gulch where the water kind of drains down. I'm driving and I broke loose a little bit. So when in doubt, throttle out. I remembered that there, Sue. So I did that and I didn't want to jerk the wheel. Well, I started going up that. And I stopped, dude. And I stalled it.
Oh,
so the people behind me get out and they hold the bus.
Oh my God.
Ryan's leaning into my lap, dude. We're both. And he grabs the front of the bus, shakes it just a little bit. I fire it up.
I would have needed a diaper change. Yeah, we might be able to turn around. Oh yeah,
turn around right
Let's
here.
turn around. Yeah.
But I'm not going to go in there and take my roof rack off.
No, definitely not. Oh, so that, okay. Crazy non-Volkswagen story. Back in the 80s, my first car was a Ford Courier pickup truck, and the brakes had gone bad on this thing. And so every single time that I would go to hit the brakes, you know, you had to pump them. And so one morning we stayed at my grandma's house, and I was backing out of, you know, I was getting out of the alleyway, and just like these poles here and these little rafters, or this, you know, this covered parking thing, I was going to go do a 3-point turn to leave, and I told my buddy Tony, I said, hey dude, I go, let's go, man, the waves are good. He's like, hurry up, dude, hurry up. Put it in drive, and I go forward, and we head right toward the pole, and I forgot about my brakes.
Oh shit!
Hit him, and it went straight to the ground, dude. And I just completely tacoed the front end of the truck on this pole. Woke up the neighborhood. The car was still running, and I'm like, we're out of here. I put it in reverse, dude. I just went to the beach. I'm like, screw this, we're out of here. We're done. Yeah, it was good stuff, dude. All right, let's might be good,
Inspiration
you know?
point.
Inspiration point. All right, you guys, I got a really cool one for you today. I'm actually with Rich Morris, also from Wolfsburg West. Many of you have probably spoken to him on the phone multiple times when you call him up, need parts and so forth, but I thought it would be really cool. Yeah, I know, right, exactly. It's actually Jason Statham, you guys. He's the one that's actually working
Body
there,
double.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so Rich is his stunt double, which is pretty cool in case you didn't know it. So he's normally in the UK, not selling parts.
Right.
You know? Right. Anyway, Rich has a super cool bus. Actually, he's got a couple of really cool buses, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this one because it's so unique, it's so cool. We had to go ahead and show it. So Rich, first of all, thank you, dude, for taking the time to go ahead and do this. We found a cool little spot over here in his hometown of Fullerton. And so you guys get ready for this. So Rich, take it away, dude. What year is this thing?
It's a 1961,
Okay.
and it started life as a panel bus.
Okay.
And sometime in its life, early on, it had a camper kit put into it, which is when they cut the windows into it. So I guess it's a 9 window if we're going to count windows.
9 window. I like that.
But it was a panel bus with a camper kit put in it.
Okay.
And when I got it, it had 70,000 original miles on it.
Wow.
And it still had that camper kit in it. So I've kind of kept the best I could of it.
Okay.
And then I finally ended up putting this Martin Walter Dormatic interior in it.
Okay, and that's a really cool thing, you guys, that we're going to show you here in a second. But before that, now, the original port of entry was where? This thing came in from
it's
a
Los
LA
Angeles, so it's been in Hollywood all its life.
Wow.
It had 70,000 miles on it when I
Right.
got it.
So how did you get it? How did you come upon
Out
this
of an
bus?
SV2's newsletter, dude.
Oh my God. Okay, so for people that don't remember, and rest in peace, Hot Dog Fred, man, because he was the one that introduced me to SV2s. So Strictly Vintage 2's VW Bus Club from many, many years ago. And there was that newsletter.
It was a newsletter.
Yeah.
So I was up by Magic Mountain. So my buddy loaned me his truck, and he ended up, well, knowing the guy that I got it from, we didn't know that at the time. And I got it for a steal.
How much?
$2,500.
Yeah,
right.
dude.
Of course, it didn't run, and it was kind of sunk in the ground a little bit. Whatever.
Okay.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not original paint. It has been resprayed.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, if you look close enough, you can find
Really?
it. It had a tire on the front. It had some truck mirrors.
Okay.
Some scoops on the back. You know, it's seen some life.
It's been resprayed?
It's been resprayed. There's a little bit of rust, but nothing that's going through, right?
Dude, I
not big of
never
a
would've
deal.
thought
It's
of that.
nice here. Yeah, it sounds great. No bondo.
Yeah. Now the plates, original as
Yeah.
well? Really?
A friend of mine restored that one.
Dude, very cool. I am fooled, seriously. I mean, I didn't really go, like looking into it. I always thought that it was an OG paint bus. And what's really funny is I actually have a picture of my kids when they were little next to this bus. Yeah, I'll have to find that picture and
That'd be
actually
neat for
post it.
this.
So
I replaced things on it that needed to be replaced. Window rubber, right? Bumpers painted, restored
Okay.
the headlights, new lenses, these kind of things.
Bitchin'.
But it has original door seals. It had the original upholstery when I got it.
Okay.
I've since put new upholstery on it, which
Okay.
is what I call a spot-on match. I'm very pleased with the
So
seat covers on it.
one thing that you guys can't see from here, which is really cool, and you got to show us, dude,
Well, I guess let's
is
take a
the
walk.
fact that this bus is actually a swivel seat,
Oh.
which is really bitchin'. A lot of people don't know it. Here, you could talk about it, but this bus
Well, it's
has
closer to you. Flip it.
All right. This bus, actually, Rich, I've never done this, so just flip it up.
Lift up.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, bitchin'. This is really cool, you guys. So the seats actually swivel, which is pretty bitchin'. And when you come in here and you actually take a look at the bulkhead, where normally you've got a full bulkhead for non-walkthrough, and then it just has a partial one, but I'm guessing that's probably for rigidity. and
There's an
support,
early
right?
bulkhead and a late bulkhead, the way that it's cut.
Okay.
When you got a swivel seat, there's no such thing as a double swivel seat.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
thing.
explain that. So
somewhere in its life, somebody added a seat, right? I mean, they turned it into a camper. Obviously, they wanted somebody to sit up front.
okay.
So it's clearly left and right with original knobs, original upholstery here on this bit. This was a TMI replacement. This is a solid back. That one's a flip back. And apparently, this solid, I guess, is supposed to be an earlier seat than the flip.
Okay.
Regardless, it was original upholstery when I got it, so the dealership just probably scabbed it together. There's all sorts of hearsay what it could be, and I love it. It gets people talking, and it's
Right.
an interesting bus.
Right.
But it's useful. It's functional.
Dude, it's such a crazy option, though. Which
Just
is really
first of all, having a swivel seat is a crazy option. But if you're running a dry cleaner business or a bakery, just flip right back there, get out.
right.
Well, I guess if it was a panel, it wouldn't have had an interior door handle. So
that's true.
how the hell are you
Yeah.
getting out from the inside?
I don't think you would.
I don't think you would.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've gotten stuck in mine before, by the way. I finally added an interior door handle because I'm like, okay, this is
Right.
lame. So now, speaking of accessories, actually, and Mark, I don't know if you might be able to see, but you actually have a steering column lock on here, too?
I put the column lock in just for
Okay.
features and practicality and safety. Ryan redid the trip speedometer. Well, I put a trip speedometer in there.
That's bitchin'.
And the ambulance fan, it's 12 volt.
Really? Okay.
It's pretty useless, but it circulates air when I'm in here at night or something, hanging out.
Awesome. That is so cool. So if you take a look up here, you'll actually see those little bumps. For people that have never seen an ambulance fan, those two little bumps on there are basically to make room for the fans
Lets
on the
the fan to move,
inside.
yeah.
Pretty
I've got a
cool.
6-volt horn on this. That's one thing. It's got a loud ass horn.
Oh, really? Oh, geez, dude.
Right? Loud.
Yeah, definitely.
Then I just put Clara door panels in. These door panels are bitchin'.
Yeah, dude, these are really cool. And I love the pockets, too. That is awesome.
Yeah, I needed pockets on my panels.
Still tripping out that this is not OG paint, dude. That is crazy. I mean, it looks...
It is on
looks-
this and it is on the inside.
Ah, okay.
Sure.
So just respray on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, such a cool bus.
I'll show you on the cargo
Such
door.
a cool bus. Now, so the
You can
really
see
cool
there.
part.
See
Oh,
the
I
paint
see, I
lines,
see.
Right. And if you look here, you can see some of the paint
Okay.
lines. You can see. a
Oh,
little
I
bit
do
of
like the
paint.
original door seals. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
So
stick
you
that in
clip this
here.
little booger. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. All right, so this is what's really cool, you guys. All right, I've never seen anything like this, and I was blown away when you first, because you hadn't installed them yet when you told me about them.
Right.
And I think you showed me a photo of them.
I did.
And then I just saw it, I think, for the first time yesterday at the show.
You did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you guys, tell us about this kit, man.
Well, it's from a Dormobile. It's from an English company called Martin Walter. And, well, the seats make, well, it's a combi. Basically, I can sit 4 people in the back. It makes one large individual bed or 2 separate beds. It's got a stove, a sink, a closet. And these seats flip around and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
Maybe you show me in fast motion.
You're right.
Flipping around, but yeah, I'll make it do what it needs to do.
Yeah, you know what? If you don't mind, actually, go ahead if you want. But first, also, if you guys pay attention closely, when you go to get in, let me move this. Look at how you go in with style, because he actually has another rare option.
It works. You know,
Yeah.
There's a purpose for this. I'll come in on the other side. There's a purpose for that in this bus. And certainly the older I get, the more handy it comes, right? I mean, it opens right in.
Now watch this.
And you're in.
Okay, so, dude, these are so comfortable too.
It's the most comfortable seat, right?
Yep, super comfortable.
All right, so you want to see what it does.
Do this cool conversion.
Here, take that.
Absolutely. It's pretty neat, actually, while he's doing that. This table here, if you notice the shape of it, you'll see in a second how handy this actually comes out to be.
So there's one bed.
Look at that. That's cool. And it's crazy that it's just in a couple seconds, boom, seats, bed, bam. The mechanisms are just so wild.
There's another bed.
Look at that, boom. Now this is the I Love Lucy, Ricky and Lucy, right? Now what if you're actually a happy couple? How would you, you said you could actually slide and make it one big bed? Isn't that cool? So let's say you're not fighting.
That's a rare
go
day.
ahead and sit together. Dude, so cool. All right, so then you get there. Now you want to go ahead and make it a nice little dining room.
You want to hang
area,
out
right?
in it now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to hang out and you actually want to face each other, right?
Well,
So, I mean, because that's the way I saw you yesterday, and I thought, you got to be kidding me.
well, so what are we doing? Making a little hangout area, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, because these seats you said turn around so you could sit facing.
Well, yeah, we'll do
the
that seat in a
family,
minute.
Right?
I need room to stand.
Right? Look at this, you
So
guys.
I need to do this one first.
So look at these special straps to hold the seats up.
And I made these out of bust cargo door chuck rod material and little grommets that we use on carpet.
I like it. And what about the hooks?
They're off a convertible. So it's all Volkswagen parts in here. All right, so that kind of opens up so I can put all my swap meet material in it, right?
That's rad. So it could totally be cargo.
So it's cargo now, yeah, that's right.
It's just impressive that somebody came up with this really cool idea. Look at these levers. Look at that. Look at this. Dude.
There we go. I'll take the table. Come and join me, Eddie.
Boom. Look at that. Look at this.
Give yourself a little open window so you have some air.
This is really, really cool.
Isn't it comfy?
Dude, these are like so plush. It's not even funny. It's almost like you're sitting like on your grandma's, sofa.
Duvet.
Yeah, the duvet, right? It's funny. My dad used to call it a Davenport.
There we go. That's it. Davenport's the other one, I think.
Which would probably have a duvet hanging over the backrest or something. I don't know. So, I mean, dude, this is really cool. I mean, I love the fact, I was mentioning the shape. I noticed this yesterday, the shape of the table. Normally, like on my Westie, obviously they're straight. And when you get out, you really have to slide out.
Suck it in, that's right.
Suck it in, especially after you've eaten. But not these, the way that this thing is actually shaped. I mean, you get out with ease.
I got lucky when I got the interior from Kevin. He gave me a couple of different tables.
Very cool.
And so I took the leg that was off of this table and used this leg that's on it.
Okay.
Because this is one of the legs that was on the table that came with the bus originally. But I used different tables. So I kept the thing on the wall and the leg, reminiscent of, the panel here, and the cargo doors from when the bus was turned into a camper.
So this is original to the bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. But you're not 100% sure as far as what kind of a maker
I guess it was a sundial. It was made in, sometime after 61. Between 61 and 63. Yeah. It had a closet that was in it. So I had to redo these panels here.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, with this paneling.
And you know what? I wonder what these hooks, if these were here.
There was one here, this one here, so there's 3.
Wonder if they hung
a chandelier, right?
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Because there was electrical you could plug into 110 that ran over to your battery. It had a little converter in it when I got it.
All right. So now, hopefully you guys can see, you've got, this is such a unique setup, dude. What is this, man? Is this a whole kitchenette?
Well, this is metal, and it is a whole kitchenette. So there's a stove back here. There's your burners. And so I've got my lighter and some utensils and things I can pull out. I got my pot down here I can make my coffee.
Jeez.
It's got a sink, right? I bought what was a new old stock pump because I wanted the thing to work.
Okay.
So it pumps water. The water supply is down here in this one.
Okay.
I've got my cups and baggies and koozies on that side.
Wow.
And then I made a little drain out of a water bottle for it to catch.
Oh, no way.
And then my soaps and paper towels and things, cutting boards. So it's a full-on kitchen.
It is a full-on kitchen.
Right?
So, but now, I mean, the kitchen itself, who made that? Who's the original maker of that?
Well, it goes part of the Martin Walter Dormatic interior.
Wow.
Right.
Dude.
So the closet, you can't see, but I put shelves in it.
Okay.
So rather than just hanging things, it's useless. I've got 3 compartments now. I've got my sleeping bag and pillow. I've got propane. I've got food. I've got a buddy heater in here when it gets cold.
That's right.
So if zombie apocalypse,
cool. Yeah, seriously,
I'm ready. Or ready to just go to Octo and spend the night.
This is so cool, dude. What a transformation. This is a little house on wheels, which is so
Totally,
cool.
huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much, go from here to South America.
With the wooden floors, at first I didn't like these wooden floors, and I thought, this is pretty bitchin'.
Yeah.
And I was worried I wasn't going to get this home from Kevin's.
Okay.
We sawed it right in half. You can't even tell.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of folded it right into place.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't have to make a new floor for this at all.
So, okay. So, I mean, did you?
So
have
these
to
holes
measure?
were already drilled.
They were
It was already there.
That's
He just took it out of his car. I brought it home, and I'm like, I'll make a new piece of wood for it. And I said no.
Dude.
And I went right in. So I thought there'd be a gap, from the saw blade.
Yeah.
No, dude. Fit's bitchin'.
That is bitchin'.
It's bitchin'.
Let's see this little kitchen from the back side
backside?
of the bus. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is great, dude.
Isn't this pretty primer?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love it.
It's funny, the stuff that we just totally,
Geek out on. Yeah.
Exactly. Love the step. By the way, if you didn't like somebody and you wanted this thing to go ahead, you'd tell them to stand right here and then just press it and say goodbye shin. Just watch your leg buckle, man. So now you mentioned that these panels were original as well.
Yeah, the cargo door panels are original,
Dude,
tables
take
original.
The curtains. Ooh.
I made them quick and easy, whatever. I'll make some nicer ones later.
Nice.
But if it's going to be a camper, it needs curtains, right? Never had curtains before.
Okay, since we're out here, so the rack, is this what they call a sloper rack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This rack was purchased by my coworker Mark and his friend John from a Bob Scott.
Oh my God.
Off of his bus at a Soto meet in Deer Park.
Wow.
Right?
A long time ago.
So Mark sold it to me for a great deal, and it's perfect for this bus.
Dude, it is.
And I use it. I don't put Coke coolers and things on it.
Right.
I use the damn thing.
Well, okay, so it's kind of a trip. I don't know if you guys can actually see on camera, but when you look at it from the side here, you'll notice that the bows are actually different sizes, right?
It hangs lower in the back.
Yeah, it hangs lower in the back.
It's like a lowered car going backwards. Or a stink beetle, stink bug.
Yeah, stink bug, right?
Or the way you used to do push-ups as a kid.
Do you know why they made it a sloper rack?
I have no idea. That's a good question for Greg Norman.
I feel like somebody, I know. I feel like someone had told me, but
probably.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It just makes it I think it's a less common rack.
It is.
Sloper. Because you see a lot of the reproduction one, the bows are all the same size. So
clearly.
All right, show us the back.
I don't know. It's the back.
So now this is pretty cool. I like the fact that you could go ahead. Can we show the secret compartment?
Well, it's not so secret
that is true.
Anymore,
okay.
Right?
All right. Let's not do the secret compartment then. But this is pretty neat.
But I have things tucked in here.
Yeah.
So I've got it divided for camping stuff and automotive stuff, right? Tools, goop, different things, and stuff I might need for camping, plastic
like
bags.
Extra door wedges?
Dude, that door wedge I put in the cargo door when I have the quick canopy on.
Yeah.
And it keeps the door from closing. There's wedges right in there, dude. It keeps my door 90 degrees.
That's cool.
Oh, very good, Daniel-san.
Yeah.
Right? So I did that at the show yesterday at the shop.
That is very cool. That's smart.
So that's the original tag that's there. I got an NOS one that's up there, probably from a different year or whatever, but
look at that.
That tag and then the other tag.
That's awesome, man.
And then this one's from Glasgow, so Isla, being Scottish, so I thought that was cool to have a Scottish piece.
Cool.
Let me show you the engine, because the engine's kind of fun to look at.
Yeah, and I like the American Legion.
I thought so. Oops, I touched my thing.
Huh?
Yeah, Fullerton. So I thought that would be cool to put on.
Look at that. Isn't that cool? This thing's such a trip, man. So many times while he's getting the church key, so many times you see buses and you always wonder, what their life was before. But then you see something like this and you start thinking, look at what their life is like now, which is bitching, I mean, it's neat when people like yourself, you resurrect them, All right, so talk to me, Rich. There's a crank apron on here.
It's just a stalker little 1600, nothing so special, but...
Oh, well, look at the air cleaners, though.
We made it a crank start engine. I've got the optional twin Dusty Climate air cleaners. Got a cool little battery set up with the Bosch logo and a battery cover, and I got it set up for a quick release on a trickle charger.
Dude, that is really cool.
Yeah, the governor doesn't work, but I thought it looked cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
It does look cool, and I love it.
It's just a stalker little engine. It does 65 fine. I don't need to go any faster.
No? Now, but it's 12 volt now, right?
Yeah, it's 12 volt.
Okay, all right.
I drive it enough. I don't mind it being 12 volt.
That's so cool, dude. Very cool.
So actually, here's a thing about it. This engine was, the engine bay was cut when I got it, probably for a Subaru engine.
Really?
And I had some new old stock shelves for it, so Jason Ramsbottom, well, actually, he did the work on this when I first got it. Wow. So he welded those pieces in.
That's great.
Blended, he painted. There was scoops on the side if I didn't say that already. So he welded up those holes on here. You can, if you see, look, you can see it, but whatever. All right. And then there was truck mirrors on it, right? You can see a little bit where that got touched up.
See the two little holes up here? These are usually drilled up on the frame, and then you'll usually see two holes down
right
here.
There, whatever.
And man, they would put them with the biggest Gonzer sheet metal screws. You're like, oh.
It had a spare tire on the front. But, there's no Bondo on the front, or very little, I guess. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it sounds nice down there.
Oh, so cool.
No, I just polished it up last week, and it looks great.
Yeah,
I'm really happy with it.
No, I think it looks fantastic.
I rebuilt the windows 20 years ago when I got it. Dude, I've had this thing 23 years.
No way.
Yeah.
That long?
After I fell out of Green Bus.
Wow, really?
Well, actually, when Green Bus got stolen, that's when I got this one.
I like that. After I fell out of the Green Bus. That's what it takes. So, speaking about 23 years ago, tell everybody actually, dude, how did you get into Volkswagens? I mean, let's go back in time.
Well, let's get another drink and have a seat in there. I mean, if we're going to play, I remember.
Huh? I'm having a La Croche. Yeah, my kid's always like, Dad, it's not La Croche. I'm like, looks like La Croche to me.
I call it La Croix.
La Croix?
Right. Tilt your pinky.
Mm-hmm. Here's to you, senor.
Compadre.
All right. So, let the world know, where did it all begin, dude? How'd you get into Volkswagens?
My first Hot VWs magazine was 1986.
Wow.
My friend, I was probably 14, and he had a Type 3.
Ooh.
So I would just come over to his house and hand him tools, and he was the first friend I knew that drives. So, Mom, I'm taking off a gym. No, you're not. Well, we're off. We're cruising around this Volkswagen, doing, hoodlum things, whatever. And so then I bought, my first car was a 66 Beetle. Mm-hmm. And that was fun. It was lowered. It had chrome rims, whatever, Porsche hubcaps. 16. The first thing I bought, so I went to Johnny's Speed and Chrome. That was like the first shop I went to down the street. And they had like $1 sale or $5 sale. I got a chrome louvered air cleaner, dude. Anyway, so then there was a microbus for sale. It ended up being a 58 deluxe sunroof. I got it for $1,000.
Oh my
And it had a broken throw-out fork, so I just started it in gear and drove it all of a half a mile home to my house.
Wow.
And that was from a guy I went to high school with.
Wow.
And then in my VW club, my friend goes, hey, I'm going to take you to this shop. It's here in La Habra. And that ended up being Wolfsburg West.
No way.
And it was Tony's first shop.
Right.
You walk right in and like you're in an office. And I'm like, what the hell? This is kind of small. This isn't like Johnny's Speed and Chrome, right? So I bought a workshop manual from him. That was my first purchase.
Do you still have that one?
I have a more current copy of it. I don't have that exact book, but I have that book. Anyway, then somehow I ended up becoming friends with them, right? I was working at Hughes Aircraft, and I'd go over at lunch and pick up parts.
You were working at Hughes Aircraft?
Well, I wasn't a smart guy, dude. I was just the mailman.
Okay, all right, but still, that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, I worked at Hughes Aircraft for a while.
Okay.
I had a confidential clearance, right?
Wow.
It was a top secret, but I was all right. And so one day I was at Wolfsburg West, and Tony's like, well, let's stay for lunch. Let's go get green corn tamales. That was like theirs, Tony's and Mark's thing.
Okay.
So I gave Mark his first ride in a bus with safaris that day to go get our green corn tamales. And I called Hughes Aircraft. I'm like, yeah, I got a flat tire. I'm going to be late. So I hung out with them for lunch.
Nice.
Other stories, I called Tony. Tony would fit parts on my car when he did skylight window seal. Hey, Rich, can I borrow your bus? Wow. Door handle seals. Hey, let me borrow this. And I was just a customer, right? Yeah. Here's a bus that he was trying things on. And so one day I called and did whatever. How much is this? Was a customer. And, all right, thanks. No, wait. Do you have a job? Yeah. What do you mean? Well, how much do you make? $5 an hour. You want to make $6? Wow. I said, all right, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's how I got my job.
Dude. And it's been how long now?
Well, I started in April of '89.
Okay.
And I quit for a year around '93, '94.
Okay. To
go work for BFY.
Look at that, you guys.
Very good, right?
Trivia. Okay, worked for BFY.
So I worked there for about a year.
Now, who owned BFY at that time? Was it
Phil
Rich?
Lucas owned it.
Okay, Phil Lucas.
Rich was still cruising around, coming, so, Rich saw me there. And so I was working with Darren, who coincidentally, Darren and I were born on the same day in the same hospital.
What?
I was born at like 5 in the morning. He was born at 11.
Wow.
Right? For both of us to be into Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty neat, huh?
Well, that's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. That's a trip.
And then to be working together all of a sudden. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
I worked with Bob Lacoste at that point.
Yeah.
I worked with Mark Bruto.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude. That's crazy.
So, and then that didn't work out, and so I was unemployed for a while. And
really?
Tony hired me back.
No way.
And then as soon as he hired me back, he paid for everybody to go to Bad Camberg.
Oh.
So me, Jeff, Ron, and Mark went to Camberg in '95.
Wow.
Right? That was bitchin'.
That's very generous.
Yeah, right? So I just come back. I'm like, I don't deserve this, but okay, cool.
You're like,
so it was nice. That changed my life, right?
Yeah, big time, dude. Big time. Oh, that's so cool.
Very.
It's interesting because, gosh, it just blows my mind, all these things that you're telling me and just how far it goes back. When I think about the amount of knowledge, and part numbers and everything that you've gained over all those years, it's kind of crazy because, like people will call and they'll say, hey, I'm looking for this, blah, blah, blah. And you automatically,
I don't know all of it or all of them, but I have a great understanding.
Yeah.
I don't know perhaps all 9,
but
I work well with it.
I think it's neat that not only did you get a chance to, basically pursue your career that your hobby was wrapped around,
right.
And but the fact that you actually, that's neat that you were given that opportunity, first by Tony, and then obviously him, hiring you back. He knew, hey, he's a good guy, he's a good person. I want him back. And now look how much time has gone by, and still going. Mark was the original.
Mark was there
employee,
first.
right?
Yeah, Mark was about a year and a half.
Okay.
And he was about the same as me. He'd go between classes or after school or whatever, and he was just always there. And Tony's finally like, dude, you want a job? You may as well work here, man. You're here enough. And as a matter of fact, it was Mark that told Tony to hire me. So really, it was Mark's fault.
No way. That's funny.
Or I went to Mark, yeah.
Huh. That's pretty cool. And
Yeah,
then,
neat.
looking back, did you ever think, I think I want to do something else? Or you were kind of like, you know what, this is good?
I wanted to go to, so I was going to college. I wanted to do radio or television. I wanted to be involved in production.
Well, you're Jason Statham now, you know, so yeah, you got in there.
I wanted to be behind the scenes, right?
Okay. Wow.
And so I was going to school and I was working part-time, and Tony worked well with that.
That's cool.
And well, let's see. So I went to England. I came back. I dropped out of school. I moved out and started working full time.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Wow.
I really haven't looked back until recently.
That is cool. Now, going back to the car topic. So you had the Bug. You have the 58
58
Deluxe.
sunroof.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, I mean, obviously you had the Twinkie, right?
Yeah, but I had a couple between there. I had a what do you call the early camper, a hatch?
Oh, sub-hatch.
Yeah, sub-hatch. So I had one of those.
Okay.
I don't know. I had a few other cars. I haven't thought about that in a while.
But it's funny though, because I mean, for the most part, you haven't gone back to like a Type 1 or a Type 3. Now you're a bus guy. You know?
I never was a Type 3 guy, although they're neat and they're cool.
Yeah.
Not my shtick.
Uh-huh.
I've had two Beetles. So I had a 58 or 59 European sunroof.
Oh, okay.
And I never quite got it driving.
Okay.
And then I sold that to a club member.
Uh-huh.
And every other car I've had has been a bus, so probably 8 buses.
What was the club? What club?
Pacific Coast Volks.
Wow, Pacific Colt. I've never even heard of that.
It's an 80s club.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was the president. I remember they go, Rich Morse is president or wants to be president, and somebody in the club goes, "Who's that?" I remember that in the
Nice,
background.
dude.
Right?
Nice.
And I was kind of like, all right, we're taking roster, here. And I was going through all these semantics and, being, instead of having fun, I'm checking all the whatevers.
Making it all
so,
serious.
yeah.
That's
But we
pretty
did a fun show 1 and fun show 2 with Mark's club, Blitzkrieg, and another club, Fast 4.
Fast
yeah,
4.
They're Fast
Wow.
4. And they're still around as far as I know, too. I ran into
Really?
a regeneration of that club not too long
so
ago.
Funny.
Yeah,
because I mean, for the most part, like when you hear clubs, you think DKB, DKK. I know there's a Stat de Rosen out of Pasadena. There's a few German folks.
Right, sure, they've been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few, but yeah, that's funny. I never heard of that.
I ran into another guy at the car show yesterday at our shop that I hadn't seen since the club.
Wow.
And he's like, "Dude, remember me?"
Were you like,
So
yeah?
I did remember him. And then Damien at D&J Auto,
Oh, okay,
he was
yeah.
from Pacific Coast Volks.
Oh, funny.
And another guy, Jason Lozano, that I'm friends with, he's from Pacific Coast Volks. So there's 3 people that I still know from the 80s that are still around.
That's pretty wild,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, that's cool. It's neat to look back. Now, obviously, you've done some pretty crazy stuff with your buses. With your the other one that you have is a 67, right? Okay, and that's your Shasta bus, right?
That's right. That's
Now,
the
has
off-road
this one gone
bus.
to Shasta?
No.
Okay, so not this one. Okay,
This one rattles
But the
too
other
much.
one, Shasta. Any other epic trips that you've done with your
Epic
buses?
trips?
Yeah,
In my buses?
yeah. I mean, I remember Dave and I.
No, I mean, my wife and I
you
went to
guys
San
up the
Francisco,
coast.
and we've,
Okay.
taken the green bus up there and done, things that we would do.
Okay.
But that epic? I mean, going to Kelly Park and running into you and Dave,
Yeah.
that was badass.
That was a 68 that you had? Was
that
me,
would
or
have been
was
the
that one?
70 that I had.
70, okay. The one with the tomato on the front, the plastic
Yeah.
tomato. Yeah. We were going up the coast. Dave and I were cruising along, and I said, "Hey, check it out. There's a bus up ahead." And then I'm like, "Holy shit! That's
You
not
know
just
that
a
guy.
bus,
We pulled over and hung
Yeah.
out in like Pismo Beach and had lunch
Yeah.
and then carried on.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. Now it's neat seeing your adventures, your travels, and how things have morphed. And obviously, I mean, God,
I'll drive this bus in the rain.
fun. You'll drive this bus in the rain.
I
huh?
won't drive in the rain. I can't go to the car show. Okay. I'll drive it in the rain. Drive it in the snow. Drive it in the dirt.
Right.
Drive it in the river.
Right.
I'll drive it.
You enjoy it.
I'll jump out of it and drive it. And then
Yeah,
jump
no
back
kidding, I
in.
know. Whether you want to or not.
Oh, shit.
No, that is pretty funny, dude. Sliding out of your own car and watching it go hit something. That's got to be
I
fun.
landed about in the same position I'm in right now.
Really? I mean, talk about, oh my God, how am I going to explain this one, huh?
Dad was cool.
Yeah.
He said, "Are you all right?"
Yeah? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
So what's next on the horizon with you? By the way, so backing up, Wolfsburg West, how many years now do you have there? Are you?
Well, I guess it's 30 since I got hired back again.
Okay.
Maybe 31.
Right. Okay.
But 35, I guess, overall. 36.
Wow. Yeah.
35. 30 something.
Wow. And then Wolfsburg West went from La Habra to
La Habra
Anaheim.
to La Habra, twice in La Habra.
2 La Habra ones?
To Anaheim to Corona.
Okay. Wow.
And I worked at 3 of them, and I shopped at the first one.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool stuff. What do you have from when you first started working there? Because I remember one time, and I still have it, you gave me one of the original Wolfsburg West shirts that Tim Leventree did the logo.
Oh my God,
with.
yeah.
I still have that shirt.
I still have, I think it's a tank top of that artwork.
Yes.
With the green bus on it.
Yes.
I've got a whole bunch of collectible Wolfsburg West stuff, dude. I've been going through my office since we renovated it.
Right.
Or renovated it. And painted. And I just made a box of all the catalogs and price sheets and hats and postcards and just all the stuff.
Just going down memory lane, huh? Which is crazy.
All the neat behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. I end up being a collector, right? I don't go fishing for the stuff. It just finds me. I mean, you've seen my office.
Yep.
I don't go looking for most of
You're
that.
the only guy that made the alphabet out of VW parts.
Nah, I've seen somebody else on the internet to do that. I'm not the only
Okay.
one.
Well, you're the first one that I ever saw. But I think you also didn't you do some of the trophies for some of the shows? Didn't you make
I
some
did
of the
trophies for Silverado.
Okay.
I've done them for Orange Empire's show.
Okay.
Probably a couple of others. I've made some trophies for some people at Shasta, just other people for just being people. The Kircher Award for Treffin. I've done those a few times.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're definitely creative, dude. And I've always laughed my ass off, whenever I'm around you, and just the things that you say, the things that you come up with. You definitely have a very creative mind. When you think about the shows and the people and everything else, what would you say is your biggest takeaway from this whole VW scene?
Nice people.
Nice people.
Come, dude, stay at my house. Come have some drinks. Come see my Volkswagens. Come and let me drive you. See my garage. Let me share with you what you've shared with me. I think it's probably the biggest takeaway. I've made a lot of good friends, international friends.
Yeah.
A lot of longtime friends.
Yeah. You've got friends all over the world.
I do. Yeah.
It's that's neat. That is really cool. And I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, just because of the fact that one of the things that people always say, my kids said it when they were young, aside from the fact that, oh, what's marijuana? Going to car shows, being like 4 years old, being like,
someone stepped on a skunk.
It's another skunk, man. Another skunk. A lot of skunks at these shows. No, is just like my son always says, he goes, Volkswagen people. That's all you got to say. Volkswagen people. And he goes, everyone's so cool, so accepting, so kind. Yeah, most. I mean, of course, there's.
It's like saying, how's everything? I hate that question. How's everything? Dude, I don't have time to tell you everything is. Sorry. I'm just jumping all over you.
Yeah, it is pretty neat to actually to meet people all over the world, and for this common interest. For this hobby. I think it's
for a car that shouldn't have survived.
Right? Yeah.
For a car that was not loved.
Right.
A car that was counterculture, which is probably really the attraction.
Yeah.
Was the counterculture of the bus. Right.
Yeah, right. And now, I mean, look at how iconic it is. And how much fun it is.
A fact. I mean, Hamill pointed it out when the bus made it in a bunch of movies and cartoons. That success when 3 generations later, 2 generations, whatever.
Yeah.
It's recycled into their lifestyle.
Yeah. And what's funny, though, to your point, how many times are you driving your bus? And it's always interesting how people that are walking on the sidewalk, it's the little kids that always point at the cars, It's like they're just happy, super, super happy.
Remember in the 80s, everybody would thumbs up you? I mean, you'd see another bus, hey, dude, cool, man. You don't get that as much anymore.
Sign. Yeah, I know. The part that cracks me up now is like when you go to the gas station, people are always like, oh, hey, I had one of those,
74.
And you're just like, oh.
Nice bug.
Yeah. I remember Ron, who used to work at Wolfsburg West, he would say that he always wore sunglasses when he drove his car, and whenever he would go to get gas, he would like pretend he was on the phone just because he didn't
tuck his head under the hood.
He didn't want people to ask him.
Somebody asked Ryan, what year is it? And he goes, 2023, last I checked. Right.
That's funny, dude. I never thought of that. I like that.
What year is it?
Yeah.
2023, dude. Well, it's 2025 now, but whatever.
There never thought of that one. My kids get mad when we're at the store and the lady will give me change. She'll be like, "Oh, here you go. That's 1963." I'm like, "Oh, that was a cool year." My kids are like, "Dude, seriously, shut up. Come on, it's dad jokes, man."
It's a great year for buses and Beetles, right?
Exactly.
For Volkswagen as itself. Oh, there goes a soccer ball rolling down the street.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's downhill, dude.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Was that old man chasing
That was an old man chasing it.
Oh, God. Well, I hope we don't hear sirens next. Well, dude, this is cool. This is really, really cool, and I really appreciate you, not only sharing the bus with us, but also your story.
Well, thanks for hanging out.
No, absolutely, dude. I got my lacrosse, so thank you very much.
Took you into a quiet alley here.
Yeah,
I'm going to murder you next.
I know, right? Dude, it was funny that you said a total weird segue. I went running this morning and I found a blade from a Sawzall on the ground, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my civic duty and pick it up so nobody gets a flat tire. And so I picked up this blade, and I could not find a trash can until like I got home. Mm-hmm. And so I was running with this thing, and you'd probably think that it's like, look, dude, that guy's going to stab someone with that. I'm like, come on, I'm trying to save somebody a flat tire. But anyway, I digress. No, dude, this is a really, really cool bus. Congratulations on bringing this thing to the point where it is now. It's so bitchin'.
It was a work in progress. So when I got it, I didn't want to change anything, right? You keep it original. And I just used it and used it and used it.
Yeah.
And finally, Kevin offered me this interior. I declined twice. I'm like, no.
What?
Dude, no, dude.
No way.
Yeah, really. So he offered me the seats, and then he offered me the seats again. And then I told myself years ago when I was hanging out in here that someday when the things go bad, I'll do what I did to it.
Right.
So Kevin offered me the kitchenette for some more money, and I said, all right, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And then, that's caused this transformation here in the last year to it.
Well,
and now it's
so rad.
A whole next level. It needs to go a little more, but
yeah, little by
next
little.
Level bus.
But like you said, you use it.
I do. I hang out in here with the dogs. They let the dogs cruise around in here with me. It's great.
No, it's cool, dude. It's very cool. I'm telling you guys, if you ever get a chance to actually see this, or if you go to Wolfsburg West, ask for Rich,
I don't work will call too often.
No, he's not. No, exactly. You're usually behind the scenes just taking calls,
Yeah.
But no, every once in a while you'll see this bus parked out in front of Wolfsburg West.
It'll be at Spring Picnic here in a couple of weeks.
Yep, that's another show, you guys.
It'll be at
what is the show, dude? The May...
first weekend in May.
Okay, so like 5th, 6th, 7th?
First, second, third, and fourth, I believe it is.
Okay, all right.
So it'll be there. It will be at the Classic Revival.
Oh yeah.
Right, and it'll be at Prado. Anyway, it'll be all the big events, of course, and every Octo.
Awesome. So hopefully you guys will get a chance to actually check this out up close. If anything, like as I'm sitting in here, take a look at the mechanisms when you guys do check it out in person, because I'm always blown away by what the human mind can come up with, and just the, obviously necessity. And then just from there, the ideas just start morphing, which is cool. But this is neat. This is definitely taking a what was once a panel bus, to a completely different level. And the fact that it's a swivel seat, I mean, it's
a deluxe camper panel.
Geek out. It's a deluxe camper panel. I like that.
Something stupid like that, right?
So would that be a 21141? What, it's like 230. I don't know what it'd be, huh? No. I don't know what the hell it would be.
A two something or other.
A two something or other.
Yes.
I like that. There you go. Anyway, dude,
so you're going to drive this home?
I do? Really? I get to drive it home? All right.
Yeah, you get it because it's a different feel, dude.
All right.
And you've never ridden in the back, so another time I'll have to ride you in the back.
Okay. Oh, that sounds weird. There's got to be a way of resetting.
Another time I'll have to give you a ride and you'll sit in the back.
Okay, there we go.
Of the bus.
That sounds a little bit better. I was getting nervous because we are kind of in a quiet alley here, and I'm like, here we go. You don't have a LaCroix? Nice. Anyway, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Rich, thank you, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. We've been friends for many, many, many years. And I was just telling somebody yesterday how it's interesting how, fortunately, because we've been friends for so many years, I know a lot about Rich, but there's a lot of the times that we go to shows and we see our friends there, or we consider them our friends, but really we don't know a damn thing about them. And it's kind of like Jeff Grant, for example. I was pointing him out the fact that most people are like, oh, Jeff Grant, he's a dude with the little model toys. Yeah. Did you know he fixes airplanes? Did you know he's a pilot? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's been in the military.
Yeah. All that sort of stuff, right? And so it's kind of like, oh, did you know Rich used to work at BFY? Did you know Rich worked for Hughes Aircraft? It's like that part I didn't know. So, it's kind of neat when I do these interviews.
Can't let everybody know everything. You can't give the audience everything.
Come on, man, you got it, This will live forever. so everybody's going to know about you.
Well, it is the internet. It'll live forever.
The
It'll keep
interweb.
up with cockroaches and help us.
Right, exactly, dude. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching. Rich, thank you.
Sorry you had to watch.
Yeah, right. Nice, huh? But oh yeah, one of my favorite Richisms actually that just came to mind is whenever you call him and he puts you on hold, he doesn't put you on hold. He puts you on
Ignore.
I like that. Let me put you on ignore.
I do, because I'm ignoring you for 2 minutes while I walk to my desk, and then I'm there for you, but I'm ignoring you.
See?
Put you on hold. That's rude.
Anyway. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'm going to take this thing for a drive. So why don't you guys come along?
So, dude, what do you think is sitting in my bus?
Well, dude, this is a trip because at first when I actually
well, that adjusts you forward and backwards.
Oh, okay. And so the little swivel part.
The left allows you to swivel.
Yeah. So you guys, this is rad. You can sit there like a little kid going, doo, 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 doo. Grandma's like, you're gonna break it.
Don't worry, when you drive.
Look at that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Seriously, dude, this thing's rad. This thing's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Now your long legs aren't in your way.
No, I know, which is really
Oh,
funny.
yeah. Look how you naturally reached up there.
Reached up here, I know, right? Dude, that's funny. I love the Trip Speedo. That's awesome.
Don't worry about the generator light.
No?
Nope.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're out of here. Which way? Should I go left or right?
Okay.
Or straight?
Doesn't matter.
Well,
Let's see. Which way do you want to go?
Oh,
You want to
look at
drive
that.
through a hill?
I told you guys, hey, don't let me forget my water. And it's a good thing I looked down, huh?
Oh, no.
Yeah. All right, let's see if I can do this. Right about there.
I got you here.
Thank you. I've left many a water bottle, you guys, wherever we film. So look at that.
You.
It fits. I like it. Anywho, all right, we're good.
We're golden.
All right.
You're good there. All
Dude,
right.
it's crazy the amount of room. The amount of room that you actually have. Is she wearing pants? Dude, look at this. Glad we got this on camera. Seriously, this is crazy. There's a lady wearing a coat with heels and nothing else.
Yeah, it does
It's
look pretty absurd.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, uh-huh. Where does this take us down?
That'll take us down to Chapman.
It will, huh? Okay. Dude, there's so much room.
It got 2 shift extensions on that, dude.
That's crazy.
Way high up.
Yeah. This is nice. That's so funny. I'm used to here.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, I know where we are now. Okay.
Huh? Turn signals work. They're
They
not just
actually
optional
do.
equipment, they're standard equipment.
They actually do. Yeah, now here's the funny part. And I'm sure many people that have buses will appreciate this. I'm used to going and grabbing my turn signal, like holding the housing because the thing's always spinning. So it's like instead of doing my turn signals like normal people like this, I'm always just kind of like going blip, like blip, blip, blip.
It's like driving with one foot on the clutch and the other on the brake and the throttle all at the same time.
Yeah. Or like I showed my daughter the other day, I did the old e-brake it, you know, like hold it on you're on a hill.
On a hill, right? Let yourself
put
out.
your brake on, and yeah, she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, being lazy. And I go, plus I don't want it to roll back.
It's not necessarily an emergency brake.
Right, exactly.
I don't think that'll help you much in an emergency. Shutting off your engine's probably going to help you more.
I had to do that once actually, and keep it in gear because I lost my brakes. And the thing just was like, it was going like that.
Yeah,
and then after I stopped it, I looked at my wife and I said, I think I can inch it back home. And she's like, are you nuts?
No, I drive a Volkswagen. I know how to do it.
I know. I'm like, what's
how many cars have you limped home on 3 cylinders or with 2 wheel or?
Oh my God, you're
3
right.
cylinders, 2 wheel cylinders. Yeah.
Or putting a vice grip on your brake hose. So
yeah, just pinch it off.
Yep.
Do that at Shasta all the time.
Really?
Pinch it off till we get to where you can fix it and get back on the road as quick as you can.
Whatever it takes, dude. I fixed my throttle cable with a jumbo paper clip one time on the side of the freeway.
Oh wow, that's clever.
Yeah. My cable broke. I thought it broke at the back. It just came off at the front, and so I was like, you know what?
That's how you got it on the little boomerang thing, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Very good.
Now, dude, this is cool. This is very, very cool. I'm impressed.
Thanks, dude.
What a bitchin' bus.
It's fun.
Trivia time here. Grab handle. So this is 61. So were they not stock in 61?
Well, the panel was pretty well stripped down, right?
That's
They
true.
were too cheap to put a handle on the inside of the cargo door. And there's nobody in the single seat. There's no reason for anybody to have a handle here in this.
Okay, all right. That makes sense.
So here's a nice piece of trivia. I have a picture of my grandmother in front of this building here in the 40s where she went to high school here.
That's cool. That is really
That
cool.
exact same lawn of grass.
Now, dude, while Mark was actually taking B-roll, you mentioned something about the license plate on this car in the
Oh,
date.
IBB 927. My mother happened to die on September 27. Yeah, that's
Dude.
pretty freaky, huh?
Yeah, definitely freaky.
Yeah. So that building there used to be the Masonic Lodge.
Okay.
I learned to dance with girls, play pool there. My dad had keys, so I went up to the basements, the attics, all sorts of secret passages.
No way. Was he a
that
Mason?
building, yeah. My dad was
okay.
super like Mason. My whole family was Masonic.
Wow. My dad was too.
I was D. Malay.
Wow.
I was the Rainbow Bow. I dated Job's daughters. My mom was Eastern Star.
Was Job okay with that?
Well, he had a shotgun, but I never got in his sight.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What a small world. So yeah, were you born here in Fullerton? Where were you born?
I was
Where
born
were you
in
and Darren
Anaheim.
born? Okay.
It's Martin Luther King Hospital in Anaheim.
Wow.
I lived up in Fresno or whatever, not Fresno, Stockton for a little bit.
No way. You're in NorCal?
Only for 6 months, maybe a year out of my life when I was single digits, but I did.
Okay.
We've had family in Orange County ever since I can remember.
Huh. What a trip.
So you want to try and park this thing in my garage?
No. No. Which is pretty funny, dude, because that's like when I back up the high roof into the shop, there's a certain way to do it. It's this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, dude, thank you for letting me drive this thing. Seriously.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Cool. It is. Well, what's kind of funny is you almost feel like you're on a bar stool, because number one, it spins, and you can make it spin while you're driving. Okay. No, officer, I haven't been drinking. What are you talking about? So I mean, that's kind of that's kind of a trip. But
I'm going to end up backing it in here, so
I
don't
will.
nose it in.
I will park it over here and let
There
you
you
do the
go.
trick, dude. Yeah. No, like I said, I back in the high roof into the shop, and I finally, after hitting it once, figured out how to go ahead and do it. What a treat to drive that bus. That was so much fun. I'll tell you, this was awesome for me. It was fun not only checking out this car and seeing the way everything worked, but also getting to learn a little bit more about my buddy Rich. Anyway, if you guys get a chance to check out this car at a car show, do so. And if you get a chance to sit in the seat and Rich allows you, boy, oh boy, enjoy. It is so comfortable. You will definitely love it. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed it.